with allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we're going to start this evening with the opening of the Board of Finance meeting. Do I have a motion to open the meeting?
Motion to open the meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The first item this evening for our finance would be for election of finance officers. Do I have a motion for the president of finance?
Okay, I'll nominate two men for president of the Board of Finance.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Now I make a motion to, or I'll nominate Chad Howell for secretary of the Finance Board.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
If you look at pages 3, 4, and 5, these are taken from the DUA Financial Indicators Distressed Unit Appeals Board. And we started the year with a little bit of a financial update. And I pulled the two most important things that you guys need to be aware of. Our enrollment, trend enrollment with I like the slide they provide on there with the annual deficit surplus. And so on the enrollment first, page number 3, you will see, I like the start of this trend. They're 1920 to 2021. We stayed right where, just relatively static with our enrollment. Again, if you go back over everything that's showing there from 12-13 to 2021, we've kind of lessened that decline a little bit in enrollment. And as we go forward here, obviously what we've planned all along is by relocating, we're hoping to impact that enrollment trend to the positive and start an upward trend with that. I really like the deficit surplus slide. If you look at that, you can see that in the 3 years prior to me getting into this role and getting a handle on the finances, 15, 16, 17, we had a 3-year run of the deficit spending per the, again, DUA data. And then 18, 19, and 20, we ended with a surplus in each one of those years. In 18, roughly 183,000, 19, 44,000, and in 20, 158,000. So obviously what we talked about previously, that's the trend you want to see. A slight surplus. We definitely don't want to see a deficit there. I'm confident we'll continue to maintain that little bit of a surplus, which shows that we are in good financial health. That's your snapshot there. And the other, page 4, you can look through and see that. I like using just one data point of the fall enrollment data. The spring is also listed there on the bottom right. Investment report, if you'll take a look at that, page 6. It should cause a fairly good amount of panic at first glance. We just need to put them back in. We've got, in the month of December, we had 3 CDs that came to maturity. And those checks are currently sitting back in our office, and then we can reinvest those in CDs if that's the route we want to take. And right now, we want to do it for the shortest term possible. And I actually went over today. I can see what if we could do as short as 3 months, but today was their short day, so they were closed.
We need to approve that.
Yes.
A motion to approve the investment.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
And then that, again, the investment policy, which has remained unchanged. Since it was initially adopted in 2013, it was reviewed and reapproved in 2016. Again, no changes to the investment policy, so there it is. All I have is finance committee.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the finance meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Now we'll start this evening's normal board meeting. And our first action business this evening would be for the election of officers. Do I have a motion by the board for the president?
I'll make a motion to nominate Tim Cruz as president.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Next would be for the vice president.
I'll make the motion to, for Aaron West to be vice president.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. And finally, for the election of secretary, we have a motion.
I'll make the motion to, have Chad Howell be the secretary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And motion approved. Moving on to the next line item of appointment of treasurer and deputy treasurer. Do I have a motion by the board for treasurer?
Yes, there is treasurer, Amy, and deputy treasurer.
I'll make a motion to appoint Dara as treasurer.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I abstain from the vote on that, for the record. Motion approved. And the next would be,
Amy Wozniak for deputy treasurer.
I'll second that.
I also abstain from the vote on deputy treasurer. All approved.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Next would be the board disclosures.
Yeah, so I emailed the disclosure forms out to you. If you completed those, I've got a couple sitting here. Otherwise, I did also print if you want to fill those out. Not a problem, just, you'll get it to me. I'm gonna file those in this month's packet, so where they will reside with the board minutes.
And the board has received the minutes from December 16th, 2021. Do I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve the minutes from December meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And motion approved. Personnel this evening.
Asking approval to hire Mark Richards as a PE health teacher.
Motion approved.
Do I have a second by the board?
I'll second it.
I heard Chad.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Accept Christy Shepherd's resignation as Title I teacher.
Make a motion to accept the resignation.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Approval of Tori DeCook as Title I teacher.
I'll make a motion to approve, Tori DeCook, Title I teacher.
I'll second it.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
And lastly, approval to accept Becky Rhodes' resignation as study hall supervisor.
Make a motion to accept the resignation.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Next line item would be the main docket this evening. Starting on page 13.
I'll make a motion to approve the handout.
Do I have a second by the board?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Main docket so approved. Moving on to the balance sheet. Page 19. questions by the board? Continuing to move on to the public comments on the agenda. Are there any public comments this evening?
Hi. First item I would like to ask about is on number 3, back during the financial meeting. Would you please tell us exactly what DUAB stands for? DUAB.
The Distressed Unit Appeals Board.
Okay, what is that?
It's a board,
Is it a state board?
it's a state board of the Indiana government.
Okay. Is it for all agencies or is it just for schools or?
I tell you what, I'm gonna set the stage here. Obviously, it's important for us to do that. If you will look at the bottom of your agenda for me, you will notice a statement there.
Yes.
And we had that a few months back, but this is my New Year's resolution. We're gonna follow that.
Okay.
So we're gonna listen to any public comments you have. As far as questions, I'm going to write those down and I will follow up with an answer,
Okay.
however you prefer, through email
Email's fine. You can
or
write
a
it down.
follow-up phone call. But
Yeah.
with you, the email works good. So.
Yeah.
So your question is, you would like some more
Because you
information on DUA?
Yeah, because through the whole financial meeting, you kept referring to DUOP, and I'm like, what is that? I mean, I see it written there, but I don't know what it is and how it affects attendance and finances. I don't understand what the connection is. And then the other is item 16, which comes after public comment. I would appreciate that the board describe any changes that they may have made to the draft superintendent contract after the public comments and discussions from the last meeting, before you go on to approval. Because you guys have a propensity to just discuss everything you have in your packet, and those of us sitting down here have absolutely no idea what you're looking at. So, it's obviously you're putting the contract up for approval, but we would like to know what is in the contract that may have changed from the draft. Thank you.
Something that came to my mind, Mr. Shepherd, how does your having this degree that you're going to be having going to help the students' education? And what more could you do with a degree than you can do now?
Would you like an email or a phone call?
Okay.
Email's fine.
Any further public comments this evening?
I got one. How long is it gonna take to get the website up to date and fill in some of the blanks in the program that you have? We built around going through the whole program. It's real challenge to get through. I'm not trying to be out of line or anything, but I know you've talked about it, but I want to know how long it's going to take to get it up to halfway decent when you can look at it and read without flopping all the way through. You can email her.
Thank
That's
you.
all I got on it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
2 questions from me. You guys will probably know the answers, but you're welcome to email them if you want. One was, you guys were looking to do the shortest period of time possible for the CDs. Was there a particular reason to that, or are you just hoping that there will be better rates in the future, like most of us are? And then the other question is the enrollment for the DUOB, which you guys mentioned was staying about the same, or at least reversing a trend of decline. Is that including the pre-K, which doesn't come with state dollars attached to it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Shepherd, since you have the email for the four of us that are here, can you just answer all those questions and just send it as a group to all of us so we all know the same answers?
I'd be happy to.
Thank
That'd
you.
be cool.
Thank you for the comments. We'll move on to the approval of the superintendent contract. So, I'm asking for a motion by the board for the approval as advertised in the, local media. No, they're as advertised. So do I have a motion by the board
To make a
for the
motion to
approval?
approve the superintendent contract.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Next line item would be building project update.
Yeah, information item, the building project here, they're still moving right along. Since this group here in the room got to take a tour on December 16th over Christmas break, they really made great strides on the new office space. That first classroom past the office hallway is framed out. I was going to ask you, has drywall been hung?
Drywall's hung on all walls. The electric's done.
Okay. So there were already drywall. When I saw it last, it was framed out with metal studs. So now we've got drywall, electric drops.
That's good.
Data still yet to be determined because we've got that in the bid situation. So somebody different doing that.
Networking data.
Yeah. So four office spaces in there. It will connect through. They've busted through from the classroom side towards the office, but they haven't gone through into the office hallway as of yet. I'd say that's the main update. I don't know anything different on the main building project, but
The heating units are in all five classrooms.
good. We got our-
Is it seem to be ahead of schedule or?
Yes, still trending ahead of schedule, which is nice. So far we've been that way out of the gate and they've been able to maintain that. Again, a lot of kudos to staff and to Brian for being responsive to them saying, hey, we can stay ahead of schedule if we can get access. And so, I think I mentioned last month, we've moved tech guy 3 times now. So we keep staying forward. We keep staying ahead of them and out of their way so that they can keep moving, because that benefits both sides. So that's the update on the building project. Yes, the new Tiger sign is in. We leaned it after getting it off the truck. I won't describe how Scott and I pulled that off. It's a little nerve-wracking. We got it done. We leaned it over because the day we took receipt, that next day, we had 15-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so we leaned it there. Installer's name?
Craig Palmer.
Craig Culver, that's who put in the other side. He's been down once to assess it. He and H&T Electric have to coordinate on the electric run to that sign. So as soon as they do, and we have some weather you can survive, they'll get that sign will get changed out. 19, I mentioned the Chad when he walked in earlier. We're battling some wonkiness with the heating over here, which just seems to, this time of year, it's hit and miss. We're all sitting here and that thermostat reads 76 degrees. That feels pretty accurate to me. Directly below us, the Vander is currently 58 degrees. Now, and what we think is that it follows through that run down there. So we don't know if there's, our next thing to search is for a damper that's hindering the airflow. Because we got good hot air down the Vander, but it's not blowing significantly. So that's the latest little mystery we're working on. And once you be aware of that, we are adding to the heat in there during the day so that they can be closer and comfortable with a couple space heaters, safe ones, but space heaters. Number 20, we did take receipt of our new activity bus finally. So it has been inspected by state police and is now in use. It had its maiden voyage tonight, actually. So it is now part of the fleet and being used. Questions on any of that? Principal.
At the end of this month, we'll have the spelling bee for the elementary and junior high. So that'll be the 28th of January. Since we last talked, we had homecoming that weekend. Had a double win. First time in a long time we had a double win, which was nice. Had homecoming dance that night. Very well attended. Last week we had coaches versus cancer. That was Friday night. Another double win night. It was nice. And we raised just under $500 for the Cancer Foundation. So right now the girls basketball team is at 12-4. The boys are at 5-4. I would say this is the latest that both teams have been had winning records in a long time. So that's been good. So there's been a lot more excitement in the building. We had PCC cheer and dance competition this weekend and PCC tournament next week that we're gearing up for. Elementary and junior high kids just got them taking their NWEA middle of the year tests, so we're gonna start collecting the data and start looking at that and figure out a way to improve. So we can gear up for iLearn in April and early May. That's all we have right now.
Thank you.
Giving you everything I need to.
Motion to adjourn. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
I'll call that a tie in both cases.
Thank you for attendance. Next meeting will be February 8th at Wanatah at 6 p.m.